Hey, welcome back to another episode of Open Shutters, another Wednesday, and have the pleasure of welcoming Toronto photographer, creator Bernard Sandler to the program. So it's the first time he's on this program, and big thanks to him for taking the time to chat about his journey because I think we could definitely learn something from that. And if you're coming from Bernard's side or you just happen to stumble upon this show, I try to do the show every week and try to bring someone on to talk about their own journey with creativity because I think you can definitely pick up something, if not a couple of things. And yeah, follow Open Shutter YouTube on Instagram. That's where I announce all the guests and all the stuff. So give the account a follow. And don't take up too much of Bernard's time. So Bernard, thanks again for doing this. And maybe for the people that don't know who you are, maybe just a quick intro about yourself.
Me. Well, first I want to say for you,
Yeah.
content community leady person,
Yeah.
I want to thank you on behalf of the Toronto community for the number of times you've brought people together to wave
Yeah.
cameras around. So
Yeah.
you really, and you've kept that going through thick and thin. And I think somebody should wave a flag. So I'm waving that flag.
Thanks so much.
No.
I see your flag, and I thank you for the flag.
Good job. No, I am. Yeah. So I've lived in the city a really, really long time. I don't know that I would call myself a photographer, but I wave around cameras a lot.
Yeah.
I started when I was really tiny, and I don't know. They slow me down. They get you in the moment. They force you to just stop and
Yeah.
actually look at something. And I think it's been really helpful in my life having that because
Right.
it's really easy to get stuck in the head. So yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And we met. I forget when we met, what year it was. But
it was. I don't know. It must have been like
what year
I don't know. Before times.
Yeah, it was before time. It was the BC times before COVID. And yeah, we met at a meetup, and that's what I mean. Like, it just kind of like we were just chatting like last week, just like via messaging. Like, I think especially nowadays, it's important to like meet people in real life, to like just meet people that have common interests, because that's how you learn. It kind of breaks barriers.
It absolutely does, and it's being taking pictures. You can feel a little self-conscious, right, when you're sitting there staring at a flower with a camera, or you're taking pictures of things. But when there's people around you and they're all doing it, it's kind of fun. And then you sort of compare pictures afterwards and like, what are you each catching? It's just such an opportunity to learn. But I mean, honestly, reconnecting with people in any way, shape, or form at this point is the thing. Like I've been at this collaboratory Site 3, it's a workshop thing,
Right.
and just being around people that want to make anything and will talk about something other than sports are just it is so important. And you've been like the pictures that come out of your meetups. I mean, the zombie type crap.
There's definitely definitely talented people. I always find that, like, I'll just speak from personal experience. Like, we're always our own worst critics. Like, we never think our stuff is good. Meanwhile, other people think our stuff is great, right? So when you can meet people that kind of give you kind of like feedback and say, no, don't, like, your stuff is good, because it's easy to doubt yourself.
You're absolutely right. Other people get your head out of your ass. I mean, honestly, because like often, I totally agree. And on rare occasions, you'll give yourself a break and look at somebody and say, I'm pretty good at this. That's a nice picture. But most of the time, you're absolutely right. You like pick out the things, and it should have been. And when somebody else looks at something and it moves them, and it says, that's really beautiful. It's important to have that in your life. No,
like, just have like this energy, have a good vibe around you, because like we were just saying offline, like, it's so easy not to do it. Like, when people ask me what gear should I buy or whatever, it's like, just go and do it. Like, whatever the thing is, just do it, because the more you do it, it's going to become a habit, and you're just going to start doing it without even thinking about it. You won't even think about it. You're just going to do it.
And I mean, the picture that you're going to love the most is because a whole bunch of times before, you took out your camera and got good at taking the images that you were after, and you were there in that moment, and you will never be in that moment taking that picture unless you're out there taking pictures. I mean, the camera in your pocket is doing absolutely nothing, right?
No.
But if you've got it with you, that's, the halfway. Lugging crap is, the photographer's way.
No, it's just so easy not to do it, because there's no one telling you to do it. So you have to be your own boss and say, just do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, I find attending events helps, right? Because
Right.
it forces you to get your
Yeah.
ass out there.
Yes.
You know, it's
Yeah.
like Salsa on Sinclair. I
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
taking pictures
Yeah.
there because people are so happy, and they're
Yeah.
you know they're in motion. There's all sorts of interesting pictures to be taken.
Yeah.
But it's at a very particular time at a very particular moment, and you might as well get the pictures processed
Yeah.
afterwards.
Yeah.
And they're always really cool. So yeah, no, events are really, I think, helpful for
That's
that.
a great event. That's a
Yeah.
great event. South Sun Sinclair is a great one. Well, I mean, it's spring's here, summer's coming, so all the festivals will be going on now. So like every weekend, there's going to be something to see.
Yeah, yeah. And spring is gorgeous in and of itself. Like
Of
I'm
course.
I'm a macro nut, so
Yeah. Yeah.
tiny. So anything
The
tiny
tiny
is
stuff.
amazing in spring because like the buds, the full information for this huge flower is all contained in this tiny little space.
Yeah.
And you take these pictures, and there's just, you would never, until, it's funny, I got the lens at a certain point in my life, and then suddenly you start noticing smaller things that you would have just walked by because you're interested in those little structures. And I think that being in the habit of taking pictures is being in the habit of like being curious and wanting to look at something. And like you in your last video, I love it. You talked to one person, they said this particular pier was very pretty, and you go down the stairs.
Yeah.
And the only reason you're down there looking at this beautiful vista, which you're really enjoying, is because you care about taking pictures.
Yeah. Oh, that's the thing.
Yeah, no.
You care about it. You care about it. And you're also, I think you mentioned like being curious. I think that's super important to be curious, because I think it's that curiosity that kind of leads you to like different paths. It kind of forces you out of your comfort zone. Like it's easy to get stuck, but if you're curious about something, you're going to kind of explore it.
Right. Exactly. I mean, I always find that like you see the most interesting things on the boundaries between things, like in the crack of the pavement, right?
Yeah.
That is where the grit gathers. And you look in the boundaries and just where landscapes are changing, or borders, fence lines, right? That's where you find stuff. But I mean, you just take the bloody camera outside.
Take it outside
and see what happens. Like if you get the patterns that really, feast your eyes, they're going to interest somebody else. And if nothing else, you have a record of that moment. And why not?
Yeah, why not? Exactly. Why not? Yeah, I mean, it should always be for you first. I mean, we were just saying offline how it's a great tool, just like document what's going on in your life at the time, because in a year, 2 years, 5 years, you're gonna look back and say, oh, that's pretty cool. They did that, or how that thing, or whatever the thing is,
And the hobby itself is always fascinating. Like, I mean, okay, so we try not to be too talky about being a gearhead, but I was always, when I was a kid, fascinated by the machinery of cameras, right? Because they're these devices and they click. And like, so this was the first one that was my grandfather's. And my dad gave me this to make sure that I had something. And my dad has been really nice about supplying me with cameras over time. But, just the tools that are available to us that are able to capture things these days are so interesting and powerful. Like digital photography has come so far, so quick.
Yeah.
The capacity to hold something still and really get a detailed picture of it in low light.
Yeah.
Has advanced so much. Like your bloody phone.
I know, right?
It's painfully better than my camera now.
Yeah.
So I, as long as you're out there, but I mean, I don't know what drives you. What puts a camera in your hand?
Oh man, what drives me? Honestly, it's just what drives me. It's like I'm always happy after I do it. It's sort of like going to the gym. Like some days I don't want to do it, but I always feel better after. And I know that I'm going to feel better after, so I do it. Even when I don't feel like doing it, I'll still do it because I know the feeling after. Yes. And it doesn't matter if the image is great or not, or whatever the thing is. Like it's just a matter of just doing it because, like you said at the start, it slows you down and it just takes your mind off stuff and just kind of gets you a little bit more centered. So that's what drives me, really. I mean, it's really like I'm not looking for likes. I'm not looking for like followers. Like I don't really care about that stuff anymore. I used to, but now it's just like I just want to go do it for me. Like, it has to be for me first, and then if people like it, cool. If not, then whatever. Like it's Like I don't feel entitled to get likes or to get whatever. Like I just want to go and do it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I think it's like I go back and I look at my little gallery on Flickr of a particular thing,
Yeah.
and you look at 100 people interacting in a gallery of pictures, and it's the slice of Toronto, and it's so cool that you have that record, and they're really lovely pictures,
Yeah.
and why not?
Well, why not?
Going back,
That's the yeah. Like it's like what's the worst that can happen, right?
yeah, as long as you're not being too irritating, you got
Yeah.
to be
Like,
careful.
it's
But I
fun.
mean, yeah, no, I think, I mean, it's like anything that's painful, like writing or like, any
You
kind
gotta
of
be.
hobby.
You
It's
gotta
just,
sit.
you got to do it.
You gotta sit in the chair to write. Like
That's
how
true.
is that? How else is it gonna happen?
Yeah,
Like people
exactly.
just. I think sometimes we get the social media glamour reel, and we just think it happens overnight. It's like, well, sometimes these people have been working for 10, 15 years. So
Yeah.
that's
And
why you
those
gotta
like,
be really, really focused on what you want because it's easy to
and
think
it's
I'm lost.
always that hard. Like, you look at the nature photography that you love,
Yeah,
that little bird of paradise or whatever they're called bouncing around in front of its mate. And it's an unbelievable shot. And there's some poor guy has had to sit in a blind for 12 days
yeah,
watching this bird,
yeah,
and
yeah,
you got,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's a montage. It's not about the montage.
No, yeah,
It's
yeah,
um, but I mean, as you say, you got to. I think you do have to enjoy it. I think it's go out on nice days when it's
yeah,
warm, but also what, that it's a good thing because if what, nice day, light's good,
yeah,
afternoon is pretty warm, I should get my ass out there and take some
yeah,
pictures. If that means you're outside taking the pictures,
yeah, yeah. It's funny because usually it starts out as a hobby. Photography usually does, and then if it leads to something else, it does. But I mean, it starts because we want to do it, and then sometimes it becomes something else. Sometimes it becomes like a chore or a task or something that doesn't become a hobby anymore. So as long as you keep it a hobby, you can still keep it a hobby even if you become like full time. Because I think especially if you become full time photographer or whatever the thing is, you still need to make something for yourself on the
I
side
think you're right. I think
because
you're right.
because if you just make stuff for other people all the time, you just lose the spark. Like you just lose it because now it's no longer about you, it's about the other people. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I
Like
mean, you're right in that it's always wonderful. I'm as with anything, if you can align your interests with what you do, that's
yeah,
great. But you've got to be careful. You don't want it to become a chore, and
you don't.
it's
But it
always
becomes
good to
with a lot of people.
pick up something new. Like
Yeah.
you picked up the drone, and I'm trying to pick up the drone, and I don't know, man. Video is a totally different world.
Yeah, well that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Like video stuff, like I just started
Editing is
doing the vlogs.
boring.
Yeah, like I just picked up a camera and started doing it. That's because it started out as just I wanted to do something for fun on the weekend.
Yeah.
Right. And now like that's my job. So like for me, it's like you still need to make something for
Yes.
yourself. Otherwise, it becomes a job all the time.
Yes.
And eventually you're not gonna like it anymore. As
No,
long
no,
as you
you're not. Yeah, there's nothing new, right? Then you become,
yeah,
I think you
you lose
become
it.
very staid, very solid. You get sort of stuck in a pattern, and I think,
Yeah,
particularly, with you being a content provider, right? You've
yeah,
got to maintain that sense of fresh and new
yeah,
ways of doing things, and
yeah,
and you do. I mean, you can see the evolution of your videos as you've
yeah,
gone
yeah.
on through the years.
I like that term evolution. It sounds very
Well, that's what it is, right?
yeah,
I mean, you
no, it
get
is.
better at doing
Oh,
crap.
yeah.
You
It
get
is
you get techniques that are easier. Your
easy
editing
to
is
learn. Yeah,
obviously evolved.
yeah,
I think watching all content providers that I can think of on YouTube,
yeah.
they've had an evolution of style. As they get
Absolutely.
more comfortable, or you'll notice they'll get a new camera, and then all of a sudden, like things are much clearer.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but usually not. I think it's the sort of the gradual editing changes and just how the
But yeah,
fluency.
you just get better the more that you do it. It's like with anything, right? Like
Right.
I never went to school for any of it. You just start, right?
You're right.
So um I watched a really good video today on YouTube about like it's really also important to do things not doing the thing. So if you're a photographer, do things that don't require you taking a camera around because also the rest period also helps you too, you know? separate your mind a little bit.
Mhm. Well, you know what I struggle with
You
is
know?
that, one of the things I've always used photography for is to maintain a certain distance between myself and whatever's going
Yeah,
on, right? So I would be at an event and it's a family something or other, but because you've taken on the role of documenting it, you can sort
yeah,
of maintain a certain distance. And I think there's a certain discipline in putting the camera down
yeah.
and immersing oneself in the thing. I don't know if you have that as a thing, but that's something definitely I know I do.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. No, I think it's super important to take breaks. I think just because I think on social media you kind of get like the hustle culture kind of glamorized, and I think that's the wrong way to do it. You need to be able to take a break and not do the thing for a period of time because you just burn out, right? You just
Yeah,
like
I also think that document being a documentary person is
yeah,
not the thing. It's you've got to be exposed to lots of different things that there are
yeah,
lots of different stories that you're telling to people.
yeah, yeah,
And if you're not living the life, you don't have the stories to tell.
yeah. That's
And
true. That's a good point. That's a good point. You need different things to tell
I
than
think
just
so.
one thing. Otherwise,
Well,
especially
you
those things
get
that
you
you
get repetitive, and I don't think it'd be as fun. But I mean, the thing about meetups as well is that every new meetup is an entirely new story. I
yeah,
mean, every time the group gets around a subject,
yeah.
there's been new smoke bombs released.
That's true. Yeah, bro.
Exactly. So,
You got that right.
yeah, I think that being, being, what do they say, intendee, being, I don't know, intending to do the things. Uh,
Mhm.
I don't know. I think people should just work with intention. Yes. No, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think if you don't take the pictures, then you don't have the pictures.
Yeah.
And I think that
Yeah.
photography has certainly been a way for me to touch the world around me and to remember it in a certain way. But
Yeah.
I also think that you got to be careful with photography. It does put a certain distance between you and everything around.
Yeah. It does, doesn't it? Yeah. It's interesting, eh?
Well, it's like people on dance floors who suddenly Instagram themselves. And I have never in my life found anybody suddenly having more fun when there's a box in the air,
Yeah.
but they will hold everything up, must pause, take the
Gotta
picture of
pause.
this thing. And it's like, wait, no, we are dancing. Like,
Yeah.
that's so the
Yeah.
photography, the documentation I think there's a lot of it going on right now.
Yeah.
So, is there too much of it? I
Yeah.
don't
I
know.
don't know. I think sometimes you just want to live in the moment and not take the photo.
But that's hard, right?
You know what
When
I
you're in
mean?
the
Like imagine someone going on vacation and like not taking any photos because you just want to be on vacation. Like it's but you
habit.
feel like
Okay.
you have to because you're on vacation, so you have to tell everyone that you're on vacation.
What I'm trying to do right now is imagining going on vacation and not taking pictures. It's not registering at
That's
all.
what I mean. Like,
Never.
imagine not doing that, but,
And
but you
just
also
living in
wanna
the thing.
live
I
in the
think
moment.
you're absolutely right. I don't know.
It's
But then
hard.
again, for me, like I went to Panama at one point and I had
Mhm.
my camera with me. And you're getting underneath trees and you're looking at the bugs and you're taking a picture of a snake that you probably should not be quite so close to, but it's really cool. um and now I've really stuck my face into a place and really tried to understand it with the camera. Now,
Mm,
has that taken away from my experience of being in the place? I don't know. I think it's a fair question. I don't know what the answer to that is. I
yeah,
don't, because the camera as a device, it does take away, like, walking with somebody who's taking pictures while you're not taking pictures
yeah.
is terrible.
Terrible, terrible. Don't even do it.
It's
Not a good friend.
no,
Why would
no,
you not doing it?
no. It's a big thing when somebody's willing to do that,
Mhm.
because, like, you're sitting there squinting and getting the right settings and all the rest, and they have to sit there. It's like,
And they're just going
yeah.
like, "Are we done yet?" Or like, "Are we going?" Or
No, patient people are bread and butter in
yeah,
photography, but that's why you have to get them a camera so that they start taking the pictures, and then
yeah,
it's fine. Everybody's stuck.
yeah, yeah. It's interesting, isn't it? Like, yeah, I'm not sure what the answer is to that. Like, I think sometimes I just like don't want to. Like, I don't want to. do anything. I just want to like be there and be still. But there's always a part of me that like, no, like do the thing, right? Like just make it. Like over the Christmas time, I was in London, and when I
Mhm.
was in London, like I forced myself to do videos because I'm like I'm in
Right,
London, I got to make a video. But at the same time, like I just like don't want to do anything.
right, right.
But at the same time, like
Well,
no, you got to do it, Paul, because you're in London. You have to make the video. So I was kind of torn, right? But
yeah, I don't know, because I like to just walk,
yeah,
right? And when you're sitting there and you got the box and you're doing all the things, you're not just walking,
no,
right?
doing a bunch
And
at the same time all of a sudden. You're not relaxed. That's what I mean. Like you're not relaxed. You're basically working, right? So
yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm really it's interesting. I'm trying to think about this because like I also like walking with cameras. Like I always have, right? You know, I like capturing what I see around me. It's really something I enjoy a lot. And I feel that I do examine the world around me a bit more closely.
yeah.
Um, I don't know. But then again, you know, if you just walk into a space and you're not going to take pictures, but you are going to talk to the people there, like
Hmm.
you go to a studio where people are making things and you're not waving around a camera, you're just talking to them about
Yeah.
what they do.
Yeah.
That's usually a much more positive experience in terms
Yes.
of getting that, having that chat,
Yeah.
you know,
Of course,
without the camera.
because the other people weren't comfortable.
You
As
know,
soon as
it's
it's
just
the camera,
gets in the way, right?
the camera's a barrier. Yeah.
It can be.
Yes.
Although I noticed that, you know, you're managing to walk into businesses and have chats about, you know, what they do and
I asked
why.
you before though.
No, that's true.
Yeah, I told them
That's
they
true.
know what's happening.
That's true. Yes.
Yeah.
No, the
I'm like,
ambush.
"Hey, what's up? We're
Yeah.
ready to who are you?"
Hi.
Yes,
No, don't mind me. You know, this is for you. You know, and hi.
yes, don't mind me. We're live here in 2 minutes. Yeah, like I just like I find it funny because as soon as you tell people to act natural, they'll never act natural. Like just a
No,
human thing. Like
no.
the camera becomes this like intimidating thing where you're never gonna get the real person 100%. There's always gonna be a little bit of like backup. Like they'll
Yeah.
have them back up a little bit.
You're totally right. I mean, one of the thing I do in my real work, real work,
Yeah,
we do professional development for a law school,
yeah,
and we're going to be doing a lot of pre-recorded interviews. And you want people to feel natural talking about their expertise, and we'll certainly go for very organized discussions. But you to get them at their ease in front of a camera. And
it's hard.
then you're capturing it in a way that just feels very natural. I think that's something we're all learning how to do. Like that's what I'm going to have to be doing for the next.
Yeah.
What would you tell me? What's a good way to put people at ease when you put a camera in front of them?
In front of the camera?
Yeah.
Um, good question. I would honestly like I wouldn't have the camera set up right away.
Right.
I would have a conversation with them with the camera away and like at least warm them up, like
Hmm.
kind of get them talking, kind of get them flowing, kind of get them in like the conversational mode.
Hmm.
And then maybe once they're in that kind of space, it'll be like, all right, okay, is it okay if I bring the camera out? And then see what happens. Right now, if they're still kind of stuck, and I assume this isn't like live television, like this is going to be
Recorded.
pre-recorded. I would just
Recorded.
tell them, hey, it's not live television.
Right.
I can stop it. We can redo it. You can watch it if you
Hmm.
want. Uh,
Hmm.
I'll edit out the ums and the ahs and all that.
Right.
Um, you know, try to make them as comfortable as possible where the camera is as less intrusive as
Mhm.
possible. And I don't know, like it's hard because people react differently, right? But I mean, my advice is just to slow down.
You're right.
Like try to say
Right.
everything in one sentence. Like slow
Right.
down, take a breath, say
Hmm.
what you want to say, take a
Hmm.
breath, because I'll edit out the breath. No
Right.
one's gonna know that you pause for 5 seconds,
Hmm.
and start again. And
That's
that's
really good advice. Thank you. No, that's that. Take a breath. Just
take a breath.
pause because it's
You're
fine.
gonna
We
edit
edit it out
just
anyway,
pause
and
out.
just
No one's gonna know.
that's no, that's super helpful because the idea is you don't want to script out everything they're going to say.
No.
You know, it's a pain,
Yeah. Yeah.
but you know, make them feel free and natural saying the thing with the joys of being able to edit.
Yeah, like exactly. And I mean, I find that like from personal experience, when I spoke with the small business owners, some people it was their first time on camera,
Mhm.
but you would never know because when they spoke, it was like their passion.
Right.
Like, this is what I do. So when they started talking on camera, I was really surprised, and they just nailed it because 'cause they're like, "This is what I do, Paul."
Yeah.
'Cause it's their
Yeah.
passion, right? This is what I love to do, and they couldn't wait to, like, tell people what they love to do.
Yeah.
So these people that you're working with, if this is their thing,
Mhm.
right?
It very
You
much
should be
is.
pumped to tell people, "This is my thing."
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think you're absolutely right. And that's why we choose the people to speak in our programs. It's the people where it is their thing. I mean,
This
like
is their thing. This is
they
what I
live
yeah.
and breathe this
So even,
material
like yeah,
and
like,
love it.
they
But I think what you were saying is very helpful because even if somebody is, wonderful, at chatting with, heavy duty clients, it's a very different thing chatting in front of a camera.
of course.
Uh,
Yes,
I,
of course.
I think anything that you can do to make that feel easier.
Slow
No, well, that
slow
was
down,
helpful.
take a breath, even, like, hype it up, saying, "Hey, man, this is your thing,"
Right.
or the lady or the man, "This is you got this. This is what you do."
Yeah.
Give them, like, a little like a little bit of confidence,
Right. When would you attach the mic? So does the
yeah,
mic go on
like,
immediately,
I
or you get
I would
them
I would I would already have the mic
mic
attached, but
going?
the camera would be off.
Okay.
Like, there
Okay.
would
It's
like,
very practical. Thank you.
wouldn't be recording, and just, like, warm them up, just,
Yep.
like,
Yep.
green room style, you know?
Yeah. Well,
And
no, I mean, I honestly, I've done some I have done what they call asynchronous learning, and
right.
it's fun. I mean, you get people around. But back when we were doing it, we were scripting things out, and it's like,
Yeah. It's
yeah, you can use teleprompters, and some people can read naturally, but honestly, just being able to speak conversationally to an outline, I think, is going to be much easier for everybody.
Yeah, I find, from personal experience, a lot of people do better non-scripted if
Yeah.
they have an outline of what they wanna talk about.
Yeah.
Again, it comes back to, like, their passion, like, "This is my thing." So this is like, it'll just come to them naturally 'cause it's what they do.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
find that if they have to follow a teleprompter, there's too much pressure to that because they
Yeah.
gotta read, they gotta make sure that they say it right.
Right.
There's a lot of
Right.
pressure to the teleprompter, even though it may seem easier, but I think it kinda you also lose the person's spirit because now they're just reading, it's not coming from the heart. They're reading
Yeah,
from
that was
the
my
heart.
biggest concern is that the delivery is entirely different. I
Delivery,
mean, we
right?
did
It's
have,
kinda like, "Hey, my name is
yeah,
Paul," but,
you know,
"Hey, man," it comes from the heart, and they're just kinda, like, thinking and talking and having just a conversation like we are.
yeah,
I think there's a lot more value to that.
much more animated. And
Yeah,
what I'm hoping to always have is that we're not just gonna have people talking at the camera. We're gonna always try and do them as this kind of a conversation between two experts.
conversation,
And
always
it's
conversation.
I
Never,
think that
like, oh yeah, like, make it as less formal as possible
yeah.
because you know,
I mean, you don't
make
want to waste people's time, right?
presentation
You
of
want it to be
a lecture.
concentrated. Like you want it to be a focused discussion because this is professional development. They got to know a certain amount of stuff,
Sure.
but you want it to be natural.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, this has been very helpful. Thank you.
So when are you looking to start these things?
Oh, we're
You're
now, yes, we're beginning. Like we have programs in the offing. They are going to be lovely and fascinating. They're really
yeah,
interesting. They're yeah, they're
yeah.
yeah, no, they're doing, their conversations in areas of the law that need conversations, and they're going to involve like lots of different professions, which is always
Mm,
interesting, like teachers and
yeah,
cyber
that's
people.
cool. That's cool.
But it's I like it when people are in the classroom and they do the things that our classrooms are good for, even just online, like they're doing simulations or they're thinking about problems and that kind of stuff. That rote stuff that are just long Zoom people just talking to
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Zoom. I don't think you need that. And I want to record that bit. But you want to make it valuable. But I mean, like it's just another aspect of photography, right? It's
Yeah.
capturing something in a way that is clean and fits the needs of the moment. And it's just
Yeah.
it's interesting. It's all very interesting. And there's new toys.
Always.
Always. There's
Always. Never
the
it's never gonna
the
end.
movie cameras.
It's never gonna end. What is Alfred saying? Sometimes sitting at the front of the camera with them at yeah, at the front of the camera with them at house when you're behind the camera for me. Yeah, that's a good point, Alfred. Sitting with them in front. Yeah, yeah, that's a good point, man.
That's a very
Maybe
good
it's
point.
yes, with them together. Yeah. I like that one. That's good.
That's a really
Yeah,
interesting
whenever
thought.
someone's behind, it becomes a little bit of a thing. Yeah.
Taste or drink something together. I know you're absolutely
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Having like a little lounge and just having a chat and getting nope, that's a good point. If anybody else has ideas how to put people at ease, this is like that's the thread. That's fine.
Everyone all the ideas today.
No, that's really helpful.
Hey,
No, yeah.
sometimes it's the simple things that really help.
Hmm?
Sometimes it's just the simple little tips and tricks that really kind of really help
Okay,
you out.
so if you were to have the ideal snack in the
Mm,
lobby before you're to go into an
the
interview,
ideal snack.
what would the ideal
Oh
snack be
man,
to
I don't
get people talking?
know. Man, the ideal snack.
The ideal snack.
Oh.
Is it like Pop Rocks?
Yeah, it's gonna be something that kind of like spills down your shirt.
That's
So,
perfect, like a ravioli.
like I don't know. It's gonna have to be something like
Red
white
wine.
red
Red
wine,
wine is
cheese, right?
perfect.
Red wine and cheese always does the trick.
Oh, that does.
Does the
It
trick
does.
for me anyway. But
No, it gets people in a conversational mode. Cheese, actually, yes. Cheese
cheese
is
is good.
cheese is
Or
good.
crackers or
But donuts. Timbits. We're Canadian.
Timbits. Yes, Timbits, and yeah, why not? I don't know. It's just um,
So what projects have you got coming up?
for myself
Yeah.
personally,
Yeah.
I'm doing another like fashion forward meetup vlog next weekend at
Nice.
Vision Room. So there's like 5 designers and like a whole bunch of models and
Oh, they always look lovely. Those
yeah.
the
So I'm
pictures that come
doing,
out of that are amazing.
yeah, so I'm doing like a collab vlog there. Um, After that, I don't know. I'm trying to like do collabs with a different couple of different video people here. Just try to do some different stuff. Like for me, it's like I think the power of like, well, for YouTube specifically, it's just like being able to collab with different people.
Cross-pollination, and
Yeah,
then
because
different people
for
see
me,
other people's
well,
stuff.
for me, it just keeps it fresh,
Yep.
and then I can like learn stuff, and they can learn stuff, and we can have some fun. So, I don't like Toronto's a really saturated city for like video people for some reason. So there's
Is
always
it?
people around. Yeah, there's like a million people doing videos here. So there's always someone around wanting to collab and do something.
Okay,
So that's,
I was wondering if you're gonna say we need to assassinate a few of them
yeah,
because,
we need to like, yeah, I just it's I don't know, because you like my friend moved to Vancouver. He goes, there's no one doing anything here. Like there's no real scene. Like people either do it by themselves or they're not doing it. But in
uh-huh,
Toronto, it's like everyone's doing it and everyone's putting it out there and they're on meetups and all that stuff, which is a good thing because again, like that's how you just learn stuff,
right.
because that's how I learned. You got to do it. I kind of like say it's like driving a car. Like until you're actually in the driver's seat, you have no idea what you're doing. And you can
Nope,
watch
totally, totally.
tutorials. Doesn't
Again,
the
any
driver's seat.
excuse to do it. I think the meetups, I mean, how many people would you say have come over the years through your meetup-y thing? Like, a
Yeah, like
lot.
4 people? I don't know, a lot of people, man. Like
Yeah,
thousands,
it's a lot of people.
thousands probably over the
It's a
years.
thing.
It's a thing, and again, that's why I mean Toronto is such a saturated city just for that too. Like there's people all over, and I think what the meetup group does is just like I said at the start, it just breaks barriers for people. Because
Yeah.
that's how I started. That's how I learned. Like my friend Adam started the meetup group, and I joined the meetup group, and that's how it started. You just kind of break the first barrier, you break the first wall, and then you just kind of keep going.
Yeah, and
So
there's always people to talk to about, like, people
yeah,
come in, they know very little, they just want to play with their
it's
cameras,
community, man.
and
Like
there's always people to talk to and learn more,
what I mean, like
but I always found, I don't think all groups are the same, but I found your meetup, like, really polite. People are not mean,
yeah,
they're not
well, that's why Adam started.
critical, they're not, you
Well,
know
that's why Adam started. Like Adam was in a different meetup, and they were kind of like snobby, egocentric bunch. So that's why he started the Get Out Shoot thing. He's like, this is stupid. Let me start my own.
Yeah, no,
So that's what
they're always very
always be in the right group, right? So um I don't know. I think honestly, like everyone starts from zero. Like everyone starts from their first camera, whatever the camera is, and you just go. Like no one's born with an insane like skill. You have to like develop it. I think like it's I don't know. It's a weird dynamic where people just think that people just become good overnight. It's like no, you have to work for it. Like you
No, I
just
mean, it's as if
camera,
you pick
eyes
up
some
a
sugar, so
guitar.
like
You can't expect that you're gonna be,
you
riffs
don't
immediately, But practice changes everything, right? I mean,
of course, people learn faster than others, which is just a life thing. But I mean, no one understands the exposure triangle on day one. So
I know exactly. And it's not necessary, right?
it's
I mean,
necessary.
just getting used to framing an image and enjoying what it looks like. Look, reflections. I'm doing a day of doing nothing but pictures of reflections. And then you
Yeah,
come away with a collage of amazing, really cute pictures, that are
yeah,
interesting, and you'll change as a photographer when you do those. Setting
yeah.
tasks like that is not about, like, do the day of potholes, or
Yeah,
what's
potholes,
about
eh?
potholes, the covers,
Yeah.
the manhole covers.
Okay,
Do
okay.
nothing but manhole covers for a day.
Hey, man,
It's laneways.
laneways are
Spend
good.
time in laneways.
Laneways are good too,
They
right?
are the best. There's so
It's,
much
it's
just
definitely
stuff
way.
happening, and the I do like in Toronto also our graffiti scene generally. I mean,
Yeah,
some
yeah.
of it is just annoying
Mm.
and silly, and I hate it when people tag over beautiful art, which is just such a shame. But I mean, like, we've got some really lovely artists out there,
Oh, talented, bro.
and it's so gritty, and the photography is amazing.
Talented,
You
bro.
should. You do. Alfredoistic. You should absolutely 100% go for a walk and take pictures.
Yes.
Just
Yeah.
stick your phone up and do it close to things you would never do, and press a button
Press the
and just
button.
see what you get.
Don't forget to press the button.
Press the button. Press the button. Or, because I notice with these, like, if you press one side and then the other side, it takes a picture when you don't want it to, and that's really awkward. And
Yeah.
phones are evil.
Yeah,
Phones
yeah,
are
yeah,
evil.
yeah. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Yeah, honestly, just going out for a walk is just take some, it's just a nice. It also gives you a reason to like leave the house.
Totally.
It's
And
real.
honestly, you know what? I think a lot of us got out of the habit. I don't
Yeah,
know about
yeah,
you,
huge,
but
huge. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, of course.
totally. I mean,
Got used
like,
to it.
I had 2 years of, like, yeah,
Yeah, just
no,
got
I
used to like not going anywhere. Just got used to it. Oh, I guess this is a thing now. This is what I'm doing. So,
yeah.
um, you'd be surprised. Like I'm surprised sometimes with the stuff that you see. Like you said, like you also have to be kind of like looking for it too. But also when you're not looking for it, man, stuff just happens too. Like when you just like
Look, I think
casually walking, man, so much stuff happens.
you I think being a photographer is
Yeah.
being alive to the world around you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's not just having a focus on your interior world, because you can't take pictures of that, right? So,
Yeah.
we it's caring about what the world around us presents, and it's like the macro lens, right? You start noticing small things. Carrying around a camera makes you notice more about the world, which is, I think, a bonus, kind of, you know.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a
Al-
fortune cookie.
Alfred asking, do I need a full frame professional camera to join the group? No, just bring what you have, bro.
No,
Nah,
just your phone,
bring your
phone,
phone. Just bring your phone.
phone.
Some people don't even bring cameras. They just want to come out for a walk and meet people on
Also
a
true.
Saturday night. That's it, right? So
Yeah, totally. And really, photographers, I mean, we're crazy, but generally fairly lovely.
no, they're fairly good. Fairly,
Crazy gearheads, some, but not
yeah,
all, and people who are just out having fun.
yeah. I've
It's
never met, like, honestly, like over the years, I've never really met anyone that really kind of like rubbed me the wrong way. Like everyone's been really nice. Like I can't think of
No,
any.
and we don't. It's none of that paparazzi, stuff. We're going
No,
to, like, be intrusive and take pictures of that
yeah,
people aren't comfortable with. It's not. You guys,
no.
it's just not what you do.
We get a lot of onlookers from the public. Like, why
Sure,
are there 30 photographers on one corner? They're like, what the hell is going on?
sure, sure. Well, I mean,
Yeah, like,
you have a whole bunch of, but it's that's fun.
yeah,
You become the event, and then
yeah,
people
you
observe
become
it.
the event. Exactly,
People
exactly.
observing the observed of the
Yeah.
observation.
M200, yeah, bring it, bro. Whatever, man. Just bring it. Doesn't matter.
Lovely. Yep. That's
Bring it.
the cannons are lovely. Just for
Bring it, man.
anything.
Don't
Doesn't
matter.
matter. I have gone through so many different kinds of cameras in my time. I
Yeah.
had a Polaroid 660, man. One of those little
Shout
unfolder
out to
things.
Polaroid.
They were so expensive to
Yeah.
film, but they were so cool. I
Yeah.
still have pictures from when I was like 8,
Oh, yeah.
from
You still
birthday.
have them lying around?
Yeah, no, I have the pictures still
Yeah.
upstairs. Yeah, no, I'm a terrible pack rat.
Yeah.
So I've still got, like, I have a folder like that of all the negatives from high school when I was the yearbook photographer. And all of those people who are now my age, doing their thing were once
Yeah.
high school students, and I have them, and I will use it against them.
Yes, you will. You have all the evidence.
I just can't get rid of anything. So
Yeah,
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 yeah, the like artsy photos you take when you're 16.
yeah, yeah,
Oh.
yeah. Interesting, man. Um, do you want to point people to your Instagram or to your Flickr account? Like, what is
I
what's
guess
good for
sure.
people?
Instagram is
Yeah,
Bernard Sandler.
yeah.
Flickr, just look up Bernard Sandler. I'm not hard to find.
No,
But
you're on Instagram. Did
I
you
am.
want to point out some stuff that maybe kind of you want to touch on?
Oh, okay. I don't know if you can go to albums. Is there a way to go
Albums?
to albums? No reels. Oh, what? This is Instagram.
Do you want to go
Oh,
to Flickr?
yeah. No, Instagram is look. All of this is going to be pet pictures. It's terrible. Well, what I'm trying to do
What's your
are
dog's
videos,
name?
and
What's your
I
dog's
know nothing about videos, and
Okay.
you do videos.
Yeah.
So yes, inevitably. But parades. Oh my God, go to
Yeah,
parades.
yeah. Let's go to the
If
parades.
you want to take pictures, go to parades.
Look at this.
Yeah. But anyway,
I like
that
it, man.
is the Ashkenaz festival. Yes, if you're ever looking for a colorful festival, that is a colorful
Yeah,
festival. But I don't know. Instagram, I don't tend to put the stuff on. But yes, it's terrible. Most of my pictures are.
I like
Oh
it.
yes, this is me being
Nice.
very artsy.
I like it. Good reflection.
These are
Flying the drone, bro. You're flying
This
the
is the
drone.
drone.
Love it. We gotta fly the. We gotta have some drone wars soon.
So
I like
I don't know anything about videography. Like if you've moved to video, you're editing video now.
Yeah,
If you're to point me at like an online resource for learning to edit well,
yeah.
what
An
would you
online
suggest?
resource.
Yeah.
Well, what do you edit with right now?
I use Camtasia, which is
Oh,
fine for the e-learning, and it's fine.
yeah.
It's more like how to set up shots, how to do transitions effectively, how
Okay.
not to be too long.
Okay.
Where would you send me if I wanted to learn that kind of stuff?
Um. Well, I took a crash course at the Toronto School of Art
Okay,
for video editing.
okay,
That was with Adobe though.
that's fine.
And the course was fairly good because it kind of gave you a real comprehensive. Like for me, like
Mhm.
I had to be in a class where I can ask the teacher questions
Yep,
because
yep,
if I'm just watching a YouTube tutorial, I'm not gonna learn.
right.
With the classroom, they gave you the exercise
Yeah,
and it's just do it, and then from there you just do it and ask questions, and that's how I learned.
yep.
I
No, and that was at Humber, did
I
you
think
say?
it still runs the program. Let me look it up. Toronto School of Art.
That's Humber?
No, no, it's not a Humbert.
Where did you do the
Like
pro course?
it was at well, I mean, when I did it in 2018, it was in the Bloor Village area, but I think they've moved to somewhere else. Ryerson now. Toronto
Ryerson's changed its name. No longer Ryerson.
no longer
No,
Ryerson.
no.
Metropolitan.
Toronto Metropolitan University.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find it for you real quick.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, no, I look at. I think it's like you say, as with anything. I think you just have to do the editing, get a workflow. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
how do you organize the clips on a timeline? Do you shrink them first and then put them in order? Do you
Well, like for me, it's important to like shoot to edit. So just don't
okay.
shoot random things like in your head
Hmm.
or you see the video that you want to make.
Okay.
So
Okay.
think about the first shot that you want.
Hmm.
That'll be your intro clip. And then from there, plan out how the video is going to unfold, right? Because when you go to edit, you don't want a million clips to work with. It's just going to slow you down.
Right.
So when you shoot to edit, it's going to speed up the whole process because you've already shot the film. You just need to put it together. You don't have to like look for stuff. You see what I'm
That's
saying?
really helpful. No, that's because I'm doing the scatter shot and then I'll clean it up after approach. And I think that
Yeah, don't.
there's
Yeah,
advantages to what you're
for shoot to
suggesting.
edit, it comes with practice too,
Right.
right? Like the more that you do it, the more of what you're gonna know that you need to get.
Right.
So always in your head, know what shots you want. Now, you can plan before and have like a shot list
Right.
written down or on your phone or whatever, right? The thing that you want to make, okay, I need these shots,
Right.
and then just go and get them.
Right.
It's going to keep you organized.
Right. 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 Right.
Um, that's my
Yeah.
first. That's my first tip is
Yeah.
shoot to edit. It's going to speed up. Um, I mean, from there, it's just a matter of like, well, what kind of mood do you want? Like music, effects,
Mhm.
all that stuff. What's the mood that you want to get? What's the message that you want to send?
Can I ask it's kind of a
Yeah,
technical question, particularly when you've got either the drone or any kind of video camera.
yeah.
Will you try to take a lot of short shots, or will you let the camera run, keep refocusing, and just keep it running? Like
No,
what do you do?
each shot is on it's his own shot because again, I don't want to like watch a 3-minute clip and try to get the thing and then put it on the timeline, right? So for me, it's like get the shot, stop, second shot, stop, right? So
Okay.
when you go to edit, you have a reasonable amount of clips to work with,
Right.
right? You
And
don't
they're
I don't
not
want like
long.
a
They're just
5-minute thing to work with because I don't know. For me, it just doesn't really work for me for some reason.
no,
Like
that makes a lot of
I get a
sense.
lot of anxiety when I see a 5-minute clip. It's like, what am I going to do with this? um, but yeah, honestly, like I don't know. I mean, it depends on like I mean, like how long do you want your videos to be?
Oh, well, I mean, part of it is just, learning to shoot for social media.
Okay, so you're talking about like a minute, maybe.
yeah, so these little 2-minute, thingies that, they've
Yeah,
gotta be
okay.
under that, they've gotta be portrait.
Yeah. So even Alfred's saying better write a script first. Yeah, get a script first. Like have a shot list. Have some sort of outline that you can follow. It just keeps you organized on track.
Yeah. Do you ever do I don't think people have time for it, but those montages of photos, do you think
Yeah.
there's any appetite to watch, a bunch of photos roll by on a reel, or is that just
No.
hopeless? People
Why
really don't
not?
wanna watch that?
Well, do you want to make that?
Well, it's they're pretty, right? You put
Make it.
music and you have kind of a cavalcade of pretty photographs, but I'm not sure people wanna watch that kind of thing. Do you?
Why
I
not?
don't
Make
know.
it. Make it. I don't know. What's wrong with that?
I Yeah, I don't know, I guess why not? As you say, why not?
Yeah, like make it.
Alright, I'll try that.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
no, I
Like,
know, and it's all very interesting, but as I say, I'm a still man. I've always been a
yeah.
photo guy, this whole video moving business,
Yeah,
crazy.
it's just I don't know. It's fun. Like again, like if you're not having fun, like I enjoy it, so some people don't enjoy it. So you need to find if you want to make videos, you just need to find a way that works for you, right? Because everyone works differently.
Yeah.
It's there's no like rule book. They're just like suggestions, but there's no like this is the way to do a video. It's like it's a wild
No,
wild west, right?
and I think it's really getting used to a workflow, like for photographs, right? I know
Yeah,
what it takes for me to edit an event. I'm used to you go through, you pick the pictures you like, you clean them up, you re-crop them, you do all the and photo correction, you're done. When
yeah,
I'm left with a whole bunch of video and you've got to edit it, it's like
I know.
it's so much harder.
Yeah, it's yeah, I still remember like the first time I opened Premiere, I'm like, what the hell is this
Uh-huh,
thing? Like it's so
uh-huh.
intimidating. Like I don't even know what's going on. But
And you've got
that's why
400 of them.
I know it's insane. That's why I had to take the course because I wouldn't have known where to go for anything. Like I don't know what to do. So um
400.
it's crazy, bro. Like it's insane. It's
How
insane.
much time do you think that represents? I think it's amazing. That's
How much
dedication.
time? I don't know. A lot of time, bro. A
How
lot of
long does it take you to edit? So it gives us a sense that it's not the pretty montage. How long does it take to edit a video approximately?
The last video that I did
Yeah.
probably took like, um, I don't know, probably like 4 hours-ish.
Okay.
I split it up. Like I didn't sit on my computer for 4 hours. I kind of split it up over a weekend. But
No, but that's a
I, like
good
that's what I mean.
benchmark.
Like you speed up your time when you're just shooting to edit the video. Like I already had in my head what I wanted to do,
Right.
so it's just a matter of kind of like putting it together. Um, I think that's where people get bogged down. Is like you're just trying to look for a clip or you're trying to make a like a sequence work. You're just trying to make something work. It's not working because you didn't get the clip
Right.
because you
Right.
didn't think about it,
Right. Right. Yeah,
right?
but you're making me plan. I want to
Yeah,
plan
yeah, there's some work involved, but
5 seat pants. That's how this goes.
but you know, you save a lot of time, right? Which time is money sometimes, right?
It is, and it's much like when I'm planning to do these videos for the actual interviews and stuff,
Yeah.
thinking ahead of time what it is we want to capture because
Oh, that's what
these people are
exactly.
top
It's
of their
critical,
game,
man.
they're busy people.
Critical.
Um,
Yeah, yeah, it's important, right?
Planning though, ew, takes all
Yeah.
the fun out.
Yeah, I know. I know. Sometimes it becomes like work, right? But
Ew. No, it's not
that's
true.
what I mean. Like I don't think like I was just telling someone the other day, it's like I don't think there is a such thing as a dream job. Like there's always going to be something about that thing that you don't like.
Yeah,
Like there has to be something that you don't like about whatever it is the thing you're doing. So,
yeah.
but you need to find a way to like just kind of get over it and say, well, this is part of the whole gig. Like this, you need to. It's sort of like the business owner that doesn't want to do like the accounting. Well, it's part of the gig.
No,
You
but
know,
then you hire somebody to do the accounting.
or
No,
hire
you know what? You're absolutely
you
right.
know,
I've been very fortunate, like that my whole life's job has been finding people who are at the top of their game and really like to talk about what they're doing and either
well,
get
yeah,
them to write a book or put them in front of people to give seminars. And they're always really interesting people,
yeah.
but the organizing events part of things is not my favorite. I mean,
No, eh?
if you'd have said, Bernard, in high school, you're going to be an events coordinator, I would have
Yeah, you'd be like,
laughed,
it's funny how that
laughed, because I was the guy behind the camera who stayed the hell away from that
yeah.
kind of crap. So
It's
there you
funny
go.
how life goes sometimes, eh?
It's a bizarre place,
Like,
honestly.
it's
But
funny how
I think the more that you're out there and you try and experience it, the better the richer it is.
yeah,
Being
yeah,
willing to try things that you hadn't expected to try, I
yeah.
think helps. I think it goes with the whole curiosity of things.
Mhm.
What is something else like?
Right.
Being interested in what other people do,
Mm.
and what other people look like when they're doing their things has
Yeah,
actually, I
yeah.
think, really gotten me where I am now, which is really fortunate.
Yeah, no, no, it's I think that's what makes life good too, right? You just kind of like get exposed to different things, right? So it's
And it gives
interesting.
you opportunities, right? You get to
Yeah,
meet interesting people because, you're like, I get to talk to you and I get to
yeah,
learn how to make people feel comfortable in front of the camera, which is like
yeah.
honest to God
Exactly.
knowledge. So, yeah, no, I mean, I think the more I'm just having a very fortunate evening right now. And the only reason is because, I met you at a meetup because we pick
Yeah,
up cameras and do that. So,
I know. Sometimes
camera.
yeah, sometimes you never know who you're gonna meet sometimes, right? Like you just never know sometimes.
Every person is new and interesting and fascinating, and they really are. They really are.
Yeah.
Um, you know, I think that you just sit around the table after a meetup, and I remember just the breadth of different kinds of experiences people had, and different jobs that they did, and different family situations.
Yeah.
Uh, it's always fascinating. People always have fascinating stories. But
Yeah.
then, you want to put the camera aside and just let them tell the story.
Yeah,
But wouldn't it
totally.
be cool if you could make people comfortable enough to just tell the story into the camera?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's yeah, there's definitely I mean, there's people on YouTube that do it. They travel the world and really get really cool people to talk and you get some really fascinating people on. But yeah, again, it's I don't know, depends on the person, right? But
I think
you
so.
never know. You never know. You never
I think
know.
so. I don't know. But no, I think you're to be commended. I mean, you've helped thousands of people have the
Thousands, right? You
experience.
think
Well,
thousands? I
no,
hope
look, the
thousands of
meetup is
people.
big, and it's pardon?
Hmm? What?
All together in the last bunch of years.
Yeah.
You've had a lot of people come through.
A lot of people came through. Yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah, it's I don't know. I mean, again, I think it's just I think again, people tell people. I think it's also like word of mouth too, because there's just so many groups out there to like look at. I think friends tell friends to come out or whatever the case is, and
Do their Halloween shoots have
yeah, and
smoke bombs?
also
No, they
I think also it helped that it's been mostly free usually, unless it's a workshop. But
Yep.
I think because we don't charge, I think it also helps because I think some of the groups do charge whatever the thing is. But I always find that if you're just meeting on the street corner, why should you charge anyone? You're just meeting on the street corner. Like, what's the big
Yeah,
deal?
I think
Not
that's
offering
reasonable,
anything.
and the workshops are also very reasonable, and
The
people can.
workshops, yeah, the workshops are cool. I think it's important to just get exposed to different things and different techniques. And I don't know, I've been exposed to different techniques too. And I mean, again, that's what I mean. Like, there's so many people in the group. I think it's important to like leverage the skills in the group
Always.
because I think sometimes we take for granted what we know, and
Yeah,
other people may not know what we know. So if you're able to like teach others, it's a huge win, right?
I completely agree. I
Like
completely
some
agree.
people don't know how to do long exposures, which is fine. But I mean, don't
It's a
assume people don't
fun
know
thing to
that.
have a go at.
Yeah, like, and again, like people, for me, like when I did the workshops for beginners, like people love the long exposures, and it's like the simplest thing to do. But until you understand how to do it, you're not gonna know.
No, no, exactly. I mean,
So, and they love it, and now they do it all the time,
yeah,
right? But
yeah.
you know,
And suddenly they're seeing, long exposures are basically you're painting
yeah, you're just being in
across
the light.
moments in time,
Yeah,
and you start thinking about time differently. I mean, when you start
yeah,
thinking about capturing a moment versus a moment that's been stretched for a while,
yeah, exactly,
it gives you something
exactly.
to think about. It's very pretty.
Yeah, it's
And like the TTC, it's the best way to make the TTC look pretty is
yeah,
to really slow exposure.
just slow it down, just slow the light down. Yeah, it's just
See,
yeah, just
twice you can
don't
give the same advice, and it's good. Just slow down.
just slow down. Yeah, exactly. Like, don't assume people know what you know because some people don't. And yeah, I mean, again, like you're always gonna like you're never done learning. There's always something to learn, even if you've been at photography for like 10,000 years. Like, there's always something to learn. So,
Sure, sure.
um, just one of the things. What's Alfred saying? How you guys see Toronto? Toronto has changed a lot. Not out there as much, but I know a lot. Like, yeah, I don't know. Toronto's
I don't know. I
a
think
change. Yeah,
I think people are a little bit more nervous. Like I make those little bugs out
yeah,
of wires and buttons, and I
yeah,
make them while I'm on the TTC, and then
yeah,
usually you end up in a conversation with somebody, and you give
yeah,
them to somebody. And I have to say, over the past like couple of years, people are certainly feeling a little bit more anxious.
yeah.
I think they're less likely to talk to each other. I think we're out of the habit of sort
Mhm,
of any
mhm,
sort of interaction,
yeah.
but I think people are coming out again. I mean,
So
a summer day now when it's warm out there,
yeah, it's
and people use the parks a whole lot more than they used to, I think.
oh yeah, oh yeah,
Like Cedarvale has like got
yeah,
blankets
yeah,
everywhere.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
so I don't know. I think that we've got some healing to do. I
yeah,
think the dance scene has taken a huge hit because so many places closed.
yeah, yeah.
But
That's
there are
right,
still
eh?
a few out there that are bravely, gamely going on, and we love you and want
Yeah,
you to continue. Yes,
yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
Toronto's. I think people are frustrated. I think people, yeah. I mean, the cost of living is just not making
Insane.
people happy. But you got to find something to do. And honestly, having one of these things, you would probably have it already. Costs nothing to take pictures.
I love it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's well, Alfred, hopefully come out. Have some fun. I know I don't know when the last time I saw Alfred because I met Alfred a long time ago too. I don't know how long it's been, bro, but I haven't seen you in a long time either. So I don't know. I'm always like talking to people I haven't seen in such a long time. So I was like, we gotta get together, man. Like we gotta get together like real life. Like it's
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
Well,
uh,
well, we're less toxic to each other now. That's
yeah.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Hooray.
all
Yeah.
good. It's all
Yeah.
good. It's better days ahead.
God
Better
willing.
days
And
ahead.
the light is looking very nice.
Yes,
So
it's
yeah,
nice.
I think get us out there and we will come
I love it.
and we'll end up with footage that I will not know what to do with. And I'll have to
I'll give
edit
you
it.
I'll give you I'll give you a crash course
Uh,
or something. There's an app called CapCut. It's free on the phone. It does a really good job editing, by the way.
okay. I've been
CapCut.
using the iMovie
iMovie, yeah.
for the phone. It's not
Yeah.
bad. It's not the best, but in the end, the the editing really software doesn't matter. I just have to go through the
No, you just need
exercise
to
of
be able to tell the story, right? We'll
uh,
get there. We'll get there. Don't worry. We'll get there. I'll bring. We'll
so
both
what
bring
is
our
your favorite
drones.
place to take the drone? Where
Favorite
am I
place
taking
to
my
take the
drone?
drone
Yeah.
legally. because we're on
Legally.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Um, I like taking it. I don't know. I like taking it. I like taking it in Oakville Harbor where all the boats are out now. So you got a nice drone shot of all the like the sailboats. Really nice, especially like at sunrise. You get some. I might do that this
Ooh,
weekend. Have to see. Get some really nice drone shots of the sailboats in the water.
that's
I like taking them by the lake because it gets some really cool shots by the lake. So anywhere, even Burlington, you can do it in Burlington legally, in a certain radius because there's a hospital, but there's like a little pocket where you can do it. Um,
I noticed the Mini 3 won't even take off now if it doesn't like where you are.
yeah,
It's
well, there's an override that you can
la
do.
la la.
I
La.
mean, I'm not saying that you
No.
can do that, but there is something that, yeah, I mean, it does tell you, um, you know,
Well, I
be
would
aware.
like to be able to take pictures of near
Yeah,
Toronto's waterfront, but you can't. I mean,
you
and
can't.
that's fair.
A
I
lot of
mean,
people
why
do
would
it. A lot of people do it, but you technically can't be
no,
there. So
no. And
I think honestly, I think eventually it's going to be like no drones allowed. Period. I think that's what it's going to come down to because someone's going to do something stupid.
I think well, that's the issue is the density of stupid people.
Yeah,
It plays a really big role in how much regulation there is, and if there's a high density of stupid people, then you're going to get regulation.
yeah,
So it's best not to be stupid.
yeah.
Uh,
So I don't know. I like to I don't know. Maybe do some road trips this summer. Take the drone. Maybe I don't know. Might do a road trip to see my buddy who lives in Northern Ontario. Might do some vlogs up there. Take the drone out there,
you
middle of
should. That'd be
nowhere.
amazing.
Ah, that'd be fun.
That
That'd be
would be
good.
great. That would be great. Yeah.
Some
No, I
chicken.
again, you just have to put it up there. I don't know about you,
Yeah.
and I have to say I have broken my poor drone twice now.
Yeah. Eh?
Oh,
How'd you
they're
do it?
so, and it's like, the insurance is there, but
Yeah.
like you get so immersed and you do a happy little circle and then you get caught on the 60-foot alder and that's the end of
Yeah.
your drone. And it's like taking
That's
my camera off its little round my neck thing and throwing it up in the air.
yeah. No, that's tough, man. That's tough. You gotta be careful.
It's
You gotta be
anxiety
careful.
producing.
It is. It is anxiety inducing.
Have you smashed it into anything
Only
yet?
once. Only once, and it wasn't bad. I
Yeah.
it just clipped a branch and fell, but because my drone has like the obstacle avoidance,
Yep.
so it will beep and then stop when it's near something. But only once, so I'm
But
pretty.
sometimes you want to take that off because
I don't want to take it off because I want to go in sport mode. But
exactly.
then I'm usually pretty careful. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's too
I
much
think
money. It's too much money. Like you know.
yeah, but I mean, if you'd said when we were kids
Of
that you could
course.
have a device
Oh,
that you could aim it at somebody and it
I
could
know.
follow that person
I know.
and circle around them and
Insane.
maintain focus on that, you would have.
You wanna go to bed. You just
We
do that
live in
all
the
night long.
future, man.
That's the future, man. I know. It's crazy, right? It's an adult toy. That's what it is. It's an adult toy.
Well, yes and no. I mean, really, it is a sea change. The capacity to put a
Yeah.
camera a couple hundred feet in the air.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, it's like the macro lens. You start
Yeah.
actually it's interesting because in a way, again, it's you start thinking in terms of what does something look from this perspective that I would have never thought about before.
Right. Yeah.
Like
The opposite of macro versus like the zoom out.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like I was in Manitoulin Island and I noticed that we were sort of on this slate shelf just next to the highway. So I just looked straight down and pulled the drone back. And this cracked slate shelf goes on for hundreds of feet in
Yeah.
every direction. And it's like really quite something, but you would have never noticed it.
Never. I know.
It's
Cool,
so
eh?
interesting. It's yeah.
Cool, eh?
So you got to get out of the comfort zone and throw $1,200 into the air.
Let's throw it out. No fear.
Don't like it.
No fear. Love it. We gotta do some drone wars this summer, bro. We'll vlog it. We'll make a video. It'll be fun.
They can just stare at each other.
And then we'll just stare at each other like Mortal
Hi.
Kombat style. Mortal Kombat style. Yeah.
I don't know. It'd be I'd love to build the things, but there's nowhere to fly them around Toronto.
No, yeah, tough. Eh? Gotta move.
No, I love this city.
Love Toronto. Shout out to Toronto.
I do. Yeah, no, I adore this place. My parents moved here from South Africa, and I grew up
Uh-huh.
here, and you're never going to get me out of this place.
Yeah,
I
love it.
just, it's just so like every language on this subway, every language,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
just every different kind of person there is to see is on just
yeah,
everywhere.
yeah,
And you get a nice warm summer day, and you're down at the waterfront or you're on the island, and people are really nice,
yeah. Of
and
course,
it's very pretty.
of
And
course.
we have lots of trees, so
Trees are good.
trees are good.
Trees,
If you've got a macro
trees,
lens, you go into those ravines,
you know.
and you don't even need the graffiti. You can look just at the
No.
green things.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Although
True.
well, Cedarvale does have some graffiti, which is not bad. It's not great
Yeah,
graffiti, but it's okay.
yeah, yeah. Love it, man. We're up against the hour, so I don't want to get too much of your time. So I really enjoyed the conversation, Bernard. But hope to have you back on again soon.
I hope so too, and thank you very much for this and for all you do.
Yeah,
It is appreciated.
no, it's my
So
pleasure.
you should know that.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you for mentioning that. Alfred, thanks for listening, watching, commenting. Hopefully, see you too, bro. And everyone, thanks for watching, listening to YouTube, Spotify, Google, wherever this thing is. And go check out Bernard on Instagram, Flickr, the internet, and
The internet.
maybe come out if you're in the Toronto area and can hang out with us in real life. I mean, isn't that a treat?
Ew, flesh.
Yes, we're nice. We're nice people. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time with another special guest. Have a great evening.
Bye.